The Creative Coliseum would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on treaty land, referred to as Treaty 4 territory, and that all people here are beneficiaries of this treaty. Treaty 4 encompasses the lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect and honor the treaties that were made on all territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we are committed to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous nations in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration.
Technology should be doing these things for us. Technology should be taking away grunt work. It should be freeing up our minds to be more creative. Unfortunately, now it seems like the AI is mostly used for
doing the creative work.
Doing the creative work.
That's my big
gripe.
That's my big gripe. Yeah. Hey, we're back. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Coliseum. I am Allysia, and this is
David,
yes. And we are going to be going on a long chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while, so I think we need to have a long chat to let you know the rabbit holes that we have been exploring over the last how many months?
I don't know. I don't know when we released an episode. Maybe 10 months ago or something.
I feel like that sounds about right.
11, 12. I don't even know.
300, the beginning of time.
It was 2024. Close enough.
It was 2024. It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time. It was pre-fascist America. I mean, they were always fascist.
They were headed in a direction that we can only appreciate with hindsight how obvious that would have been. But anyways, we're not here to talk about American fascism. We're here to talk about the rise of AI and how
a different fascism,
a different sort of fascism, but not just AI. I mean, we talk about what we've been doing, where we went for the last 8, 10 years, eternity, months. Yeah.
We're gonna update on our. I guess, I don't know. This is like a casual chat. So we're just going to talk about our lives and where things are going.
But it is, I think, worth, I always wonder with an intro like that, we're going to chat about our lives, guys.
Yeah.
That's like cool. Setting a bar really, really
super
low.
Cool.
And everyone stops listening to this podcast right now.
It's true.
No, I think it's actually good, though. I think we get into the good stuff, talk about how we've upgraded in life. And I think there's some... I was going to say nuggets of wisdom, but I feel extremely pretentious now. So let's just pretend that thought never happened.
We've leveled up, though. Yes,
we leveled up. Maybe not at podcasting.
Humble brag.
I think we need to practice our podcasting a little bit, but otherwise we've leveled up.
But yeah, we're doing new shows. We're doing new episodes. So you're going to hear this one, and then there's going to be others.
Yeah, ones that we're really excited about. So definitely check those out as well. All right, let's get to it.
Oh, and I want to say one thing too. There's no visuals. We didn't film ourselves. I just want to say that real quick.
Oh, yeah. We were sitting in a dark room.
So right now you're going to see us, and then you're not going to see us.
Yeah, have fun with that. Listen to a podcast while you're driving or out for a jaunt to the grocery store.
Okay.
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah. Let's get to it. But before we get to it, we got something.
Oh, right. Yes.
We got to roll the ad.
Here we go.
Hey there, this is Allysia from Piano TV. I'm a piano teacher, and I've got a bunch of videos up on YouTube if you want to check those out. I also host free monthly webinars on a variety of piano-related topics and make courses about learning piano, whether you're a complete beginner or if you're an intermediate level student. If you are interested in staying up to date with the things I've got going on, you can visit pianotv.net and join my mailing list, where you will also receive a free ebook on how to practice the piano. The courses that I offer open for registration in August, and they run from September to April, where you'll join a group of like-minded individuals and receive personal feedback from myself. Whether you're 29 or 92, it's never too late to learn.
I'm recording. Okay, there's no fan in the room today, and I was kind of hoping there would be, because this is the first time recording in this booth.
Why would you want a fan to ruin this great moment?
I wanted to know what it did do to recordings. I wanted to have some experience understanding how it affected the recording.
I understand. So you wanted this recording to get ruined so that you could learn, so that you could use the fan to support your further education.
Well, and I know it's not going to ruin the recording. I've heard it. It's not terrible. It's just, it'll be present. I'm curious to see how present it is. I could have dealt with it anyway.
You have a way higher attention to detail than I do. My videos, when I listen back to them, there's a low hum in the background.
Yes.
I'm like, is that my computer's hum? I just don't care.
Yeah.
I probably should.
Well, no, you know what? If you're making money doing what you do and people are into it, it doesn't really matter, right? like I always make this argument now, and I always bring up the example of Queso, the Twitch streamer, or Jinxie, Jinxie's a little better, but
these are these like low. I was going to say low budget Twitch, but they're like lo-fi. Yeah,
they're lo-fi, but they're like super popular. And Queso's a great example of this because he uses like the cheapest webcam. He has no lighting. It's just the lighting off the monitor. Mm-hmm. He's like on his couch in his living room or something. And his microphone is awful, and he purposely clips all the time. Like he just screams and yells, and people love him. And then actually, the other obnoxious thing is he has like the chat in the top corner of his screen, and you can barely see it, and it's just like flying because everybody's just talking so fast. So it's like it's pointless. Like it's ironic, and I think on purpose. I think it's ironic. So he's purposely doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I also feel like I should set the scene a little bit. We are. In a low lit recording studio right now.
Yes.
It is your recording studio, Dave. We've got a blue light that is it's the evening, so I feel like a blue light is appropriate for this.
Yeah.
Welcome to our evening chat. Our fireside chat.
There's literally a control room next door with a window. Like this is one of those studios that has a window. So this isn't much different than a basement.
Do you have a ghost down here?
Probably.
Like Albert the ghost is going to go pop up in that control room?
I feel like the university would have a ghost. I feel like
that has to be
right.
A few. No, are these the lost souls?
A whole community of ghosts. No.
Well, I've seen that Buffy episode. I just assume every institution has ghosts.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Buffy episode about this.
There's a Buffy episode about everything. There's 7 seasons. Right? They used to do so many seasons of TV shows back in the day. It's like 22 episodes to up. Like, do you remember the OC?
Yeah.
It was like 24 episodes a season.
Yeah, that's like I was a big Stargate fan, and there were SG1 had 10 seasons, 24 episodes.
Oh, what a marathon to rewatch that.
It's too much. I tried. Now with like modern television and what I'm used to,
10 to 13 episodes, so nice.
Well, and there's so much filler, right? Like some of the episodes are low budget, and you can just tell it's just like, we just got to get another episode out there. And they don't really progress the storyline at all.
Yeah. You definitely have to watch these older shows. I will say Buffy still holds up. I've rewatched it recently. But yeah, you do have to like kind of sludge through the filler episodes. But the filler episodes are still charming enough because the characters are cool.
Yeah.
You can kind of get through them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still speak highly of Buffy. In fact, I think they're rebooting it, if I'm not mistaken.
No, don't even tell me that.
I swear.
I don't want to know. They're rebooting Happy Gilmore, and I don't want to know anything about that.
Happy Gilmore too, yeah.
Like 40 years later.
Yeah, everything needs a reboot. Speaking of that, okay, so
speaking of reboots,
modern art and everything, and I just got back from Karate Kid Legends yesterday.
Oh, yes, at the movie theater.
Yeah, and I'm like a huge Karate Kid fan, and I come by it honestly. Like it just kind of slowly developed over time. I got really into the old movies, and then Cobra Kai.
There was Cobra Kai was a TV show, right?
Yeah, and it's over now. And it got really silly at the end, but it was still fun. I still enjoyed it. It was at least somewhat sensical. This new film is bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, what's its Rotten Tomatoes score?
So this is the incredible part. Critics hate it. Audiences like it.
Okay, so you think the audiences are just wrong?
I think audiences just want like big flashy things, nostalgia, like fun, which is great. Like no knock on people who want that, but I went expecting
definitely
like a film.
Knocking the people who want that.
yeah, right. Well, I'm a Karate Kid fan. I've seen all the Karate Kids, even the bad ones.
You're a Karate Kid connoisseur.
I am a connoisseur. No, I know the history. I know like a lot about it, and even the bad Karate Kid films were better than this one. Like Karate Kid 3 is often thought of as the worst one, right? And I just rewatched it today actually because I was like,
is it as bad? Is it as bad compared to the new movie?
No, okay. I don't think so. And I would argue that because it's not great and it's like kind of cheesy and a little over the top, but at least it's like somewhat sensical in the filmmaking. It's like the pacing is the same, the tone is the same. Like they know exactly what it is. It's kind of a over the top cheesy film in some ways, but retains a little bit of that original Karate Kid. This new film was so disjointed and weird, and I'm not the only one who thought about this. When I first got out of the theater, I was like, that was the weirdest movie I've seen in a while. And then I went on the internet and people were like, that was really weird. Like, because the first like 20 or 40 minutes or something, I don't know, this first section is like this totally different film. And then it suddenly just like switches into something else and it goes into high speed and the editing gets ridiculous. And there's like montage after montage. This is spoiler alert, by the way, too. Spoiler alert. So I don't know if you care.
Cover your ears.
Do you care about this? No. Okay. Daniel LaRusso. Well, we know he's in the film. I mean, that's in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. But he shows up like 3/4 through the film, and has like for no reason really. It's just like, oh, I need a karate guy. Jackie Chan shows up in New York. He's like, I know a karate guy. Shows up in LA. Hey, you want to come help, karate guy? Okay. And then like, well, no, first Daniel's like, I'm not coming. He's like, yeah, you are. You're going to come. And then like a few scenes later, like, Daniel's there or whatever. And he doesn't do anything. Like it really doesn't do anything. It just,
There's no payoff.
no, it's like there's like all this like really quick banter between him and Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han, and it's like so fast and like it's just jarring. I'm just like, whoa, like let me breathe for a second. Let me absorb things. Like if you've seen any other Karate Kid film, even the one with Jackie Chan that some people don't like, I did watch that one last week too. I've watched all the ones recently, and that one was better than this one, much better. Like it was at least coherent.
So let me pause for a second.
Yeah.
If you're just now tuning into our Karate Kid breakdown episode, we should probably say hi. I realized we just started talking.
Oh yeah, this is true. Who are we?
And who are we? And why are we podcasting after such a long hiatus? How long has this been? When was our last podcast? Was it August?
I don't really know. It wasn't that long ago. No, because
Are you sure?
We were podcasting in the fall a little bit.
Once maybe.
Or maybe
I think
you're right.
I think it's been at least 8 months.
Maybe it has been.
And so what happened to us? What void did we fall into?
Well, I started watching Karate Kid. No,
so Dave went and got his PhD in Karate Kid.
Yes,
and
I did.
is back to tell.
I would do a thesis on something Karate Kid related. That'd be amazing. But
yes,
in like pop culture studies of some sort.
Yes. I'm sure there's many things to be said.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We both kind of got lost in academia for the most part. I think that's...
Although, let's be clear, I didn't get lost in Karate Kid academia.
No, neither of us got lost in Karate Kid academia. But yeah, like, I mean, obviously I'm a teacher now and I'm at a university.
Obviously, Dave's a teacher now. The last you heard from this guy, he was working in a library.
I guess so.
And now he's a professor at a university. So what a life change that is.
Well, and when I say obviously, I mean, I guess we did mention we're in a university studio, but unless people might think, oh, they just got access. But yeah, no,
the people who are listening to this podcast are probably like the audience score people on Rotten Tomatoes who
Yes.
were just there for a good time, but not following the little breadcrumbs of plot sprinkles you've added here.
Yes, this is true. Yes. Yeah. So yes, to get you up to speed, yes, we are in a university right now. We're recording. This is my office / recording studio.
He knows. I'm just like watching Dave as he's saying this. He knows that sounds as cool as it does.
Well, it is kind of neat. I like. This isn't. To be fair, this isn't the best studio I've ever been in. Like, I mean, like I've had better ones, I think, that have been more controlled. But we've made do with a lot of like. When you're at a university that's a lower budget university without a ton of funding, no knock on my university. It's just we just don't have a ton of funding for this stuff. We're looking for it, but you have to scavenge what you have and put it together and do the best you can. And I think honestly, we've gotten pretty far in the last I should say I have in the last 4 or 5 months in getting this space together. There's still some work to do, but obviously you can't see it. But I mean, we're in a vocal,
cool, y'all.
Yeah, we're in a vocal booth, and it's pretty acoustically controlled with some acoustic foam and there's some good gear in here. We're using SM7B microphones, which are really high end radio microphones. We got a Rodecaster Pro 2 podcast recorder in front of us, and that's a really good recorder too. So yeah, no, like there's good stuff going on in here. It's not all low end. It's there's actually some reasonable gear. So
yeah, this is really exciting from my perspective. You would cry outwardly and inwardly if you saw my own home setup. Since I'm friends with you, I don't know why I haven't. Can I solicit your advice
Sure.
on tech for just a second here? So for the average person, i.e. me, who doesn't know anything about podcasting or recording, but yet makes a ton of content, records a bunch of stuff, makes a bunch of videos, is there like a good sort of like entry level USB mic you would recommend? And would you also recommend anything in particular for like video editing or
Right.
audio editing?
Okay, this is actually a really good question because I did just do a shootout video for my class on USB microphones.
Oh, cool.
I actually purchased a bunch. I got really obsessed.
You should do your own YouTube video,
Yeah.
with a funny thumbnail.
Well, no, you have to take my class.
Oh,
and then you
okay.
get
It's
access to the videos.
proprietary
It's
information.
proprietary. It is actually.
Fair enough.
But no, they're actually in the next room in the mic cabinet. But I did get to test, I think, 5 different USB microphones. So it really depends on like the function of it. Like you're doing it for content, obviously, right? And I'm assuming your space isn't like super great for recording.
No,
like
I don't have foam.
It's not controlled or anything. So in that case, you're probably going to want a dynamic microphone. It depends how much you want to invest. There are like dynamic microphone versions of what we're talking into right now. They're like not exactly the same, but they're called the MV7X. And there's wired versions / USB versions. And the USB version sounds pretty close to this mic. And will also reject things really well. Like it's very, very directional.
Cool.
And it even has some reasonable noise reduction tools built into its software, which a lot of them have terrible noise reduction tools. These ones are good. So yeah, if you have a little bit more of a budget, I think that one's like 400 or something or 500. If you're looking like lower budget dynamic microphones, there is like Audio Technica and Samson make like a little handheld one that can be the Audio Technica one I use, which I can't remember the brand the model number. It has an XLR output as well. And so you can use it as USB or XLR. You can do both. Does
it have a stand? Like, could you optionally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a little stand it comes with, and like actually it comes with a lot of good accessories, and it was about $110. And
nice.
And it's dynamic, so it's very directional, and especially because it's one of those handheld one. It's like similar to a SM58. It's very good at rejecting noise that isn't like right in front of it. So that's one I would recommend for like a beginner who needs something that's good at rejecting noise, affordable, and sounds reasonable.
Can I just piggyback on that comment
Sure.
and add another question? What if I was recording something that needs something a little bit more omnidirectional, and I'm thinking here specifically of pianos. Recording pianos is really difficult.
Yeah, piano, you should almost be doing stereo recording if you're doing a piano.
Yeah, so is there any type of microphone? Again, an easy to use microphone. I don't want a whole like mixing interface when I'm doing these things.
Yeah, you'd almost be better off buying like a little stereo recorder for your piano.
Oh, like a little separate thing?
Like a Zoom recorder, because they come with little stereo mics, right? And then you could just maybe put it above your piano opening, and because are you using real piano?
No, it's an electric one, but it's got the audio coming out the back. I mean, I don't even know how to do the MIDI cable thing. I don't know if the sound is as good that way, but
honestly, you'd be better off either doing MIDI or going direct input into something and recording. So you could, even with a portable recorder, you could take the stereo output of your piano and split it into the recorder and get the left and right channel. And then that would give you the spread, right?
Cool.
Or you could use a MIDI controller, or use it as a MIDI controller into your computer and just get a good piano patch, right? So yeah, those are two methods. If you're really concerned about piano, those are two good methods.
Cool. Well, thanks. I have to. These are things I have to improve over the summer.
Yeah.
But to shift away from tech.
Yeah. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know. We haven't had your update yet.
Yeah. The black pit that I fell into.
Yeah. Your academic pit.
My academic pit. Well, I am officially done my degree.
Yeah.
So I have graduated. I have an undergraduate in philosophy now.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to do the whole like shebang, the whole ceremony. And that's actually coming up really soon here. So.
Oh, like right away?
Yeah, it's in June.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll have to go and do a live podcast.
The most interesting thing anyone could think of is just like watching people stand on a stage.
I'll just interview people. So tell me about your graduation. No.
Yeah. I also got, I was going to say indoctrinated into, that's not the word I'm looking for, inducted. I'm going to use the word inducted into the Alpha Sigma Nu club. It's like a Jesuit academic club that's global. So there's like a handful of universities across the world. Yep. It's sort of like, for the overachievers.
Yeah, they used to have the Golden Key Society here in Regina.
As far as I know, they don't anymore.
It's gone, yeah. Because I got inducted into that, and I was like, oh, yay, I'm a Golden Key member, and then I never did anything with that.
Yeah, so I'm finished, and I got, by some miracle, I got accepted into a really good grad school in a nice city. I will not be too specific.
I was going to say, you don't want to dox yourself.
I don't want to dox myself, but I will say it's in Canada. And when I applied to a bunch of places, I applied to Canada and the United States. I was open to American universities. There's some great programs for philosophy of the kind that I was interested in. But, as the world turned, it seemed less and less ideal to travel to the United States and to live in the United States at this point.
I mean, depending who you are. I mean, if you're a male, cis-identifying 40-year-old fascist. I mean, it's a great place for you if you got lots of money. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the rest of us, well, I mean, it's sort of I'm a Canadian patriot.
Yes,
I feel
yes.
a sense of responsibility to not, spend my money in the United States right now if I can help it.
Yeah.
We're not having good relationships with the United States.
No.
So anyway, most of my applications were basically worthless after like January, February. I was like, I'm not going there anyway. But I did manage to get into a really great Canadian university for
Yes.
my master's degree, and it remains to be seen what will come of that. We'll get through the year. It's going to be an intense year, and then I'll apply to PhD programs, and
Yeah.
we'll see.
You're going to go all the way to the doctor.
We'll go all the way to the doctor, the useless doctor.
Yeah. Well, then you can get tenure track at a university and
And live your life.
and then yeah, you could yeah. Honestly, as a doctorate, that's often what happens, right? Is like you just become a university person.
Yeah. I'm a little reluctant to do that. I think I've spent too many years. I'm old, Dave. I'm old.
Yeah.
I've spent too many years being self-employed and answering to no one, doing my own
Right,
teaching,
right.
building my own business, and I'm happy with it. I love teaching piano, and I love doing it online, and I love doing it on my own schedule, and I have really cool students.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me, like if I were to get into teaching professionally, or like, being a professor, that feels like a step back. I feel like, okay, all of a sudden I'm going to have to deal with administration people, and I'm going to need to go to meetings, pointless meetings even. And I'm going to need to, I don't know, like obey these laws about you have to keep the averages at 75%. And I'm going to have to grade people. I'm going to have to deal with crappy students. Like I have like the curated class. Like I have not crappy students. I have awesome students right now.
There's trade-offs. It's like the side of it that's good, I always find, is like, well, at least for me, is there's like this certain recognition, and it's not like like look at me, I'm bragging or something like that. It's more the recognition of, you're somebody in the community who we value enough that we think you should be researching things and pushing your field forward.
Yeah, it's rad to get paid to research, isn't it?
Yeah, like even just again, like I get paid to like create this studio, or I got paid to creating courses to teach people and like refine that in a way that allows people to learn the things they need to learn. I feel valued finally for my contributions to my field. I think that's what it is. And I think before being a teacher, I didn't feel that. I felt like, people obviously respected me and I was getting work and blah,
You're
blah,
sort
blah.
of just like a random person with a business.
Yeah, like in the end, I'm disposable. Like it's like if some other shiny thing comes along, they just go to that shiny thing, right?
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes. And not that you can't, obviously, I mean, you can get fired, you can get let go of an academia too, but there is something about being here and like getting here and you are given that kind of feeling like, oh, like you are really important in this field and your contributions matter, and we want you to really shine now and have an opportunity to contribute to this field further in a way that's really like profound. Like it's not just I'm making some commercial for City of Regina that gets canceled. True story. It's like, yeah, like I'm doing things that are really, really important to the field, I find sometimes. So
Yeah, I can feel a little glimmer of what you're saying, because as I'm shifting from being an undergraduate to a grad student, I'm shifting from paying for my own education to being paid to go to university. And that feels like not only is my education paid for, but I also like get paid in addition to that as a grad student. And that every time I think about it, it just like kind of blows my mind. It feels like, oh wow, I can't believe I'm being paid to be a student.
Yeah, you should be like proud of that. And
I'm very proud of that. You should be proud of that too.
Yeah, this is a proud episode. What are we proud of today? No, for real though. Like it's
This is also, so I guess this is an optimistic episode because, those of you who were tuning in, who listened to us in the past, maybe you thought we like fell into a pit and it was a bad pit, but I think it's just like a good pit.
Yeah, it's not a bad pit.
Or maybe it's not even a pit at all. Maybe it's a peak.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it's exhausting and I'm tired. Mm-hmm. But there is something different. It is different. I remember grinding my business before, and there was a different feeling to that than there is to this. And yeah, like I was proud of what I did, and I do feel like I was an important member of my creative community and all those things. But I just always felt like I was having to just keep grinding just to stay afloat. Like you're not really getting too far ahead. And I don't feel like that now.
Yeah, we've upgraded. We clearly have upgraded. And like in a sense that is objective. Like this is quantifiable. Like someone could look at your life now versus a year from now and be like, yeah, that dude upgraded. Same with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We leveled up.
Yeah, we leveled up. And leveling up is hard.
It is.
Yeah. I was told by my my favorite professor that my thinking to kind of like go to the next level, I have to be more flexible. More flexible with my thinking, more creative with my thinking. There's a certain sort of threshold that you cross, like an inner threshold where you think of things in kind of like hardened ways. Even the words you say, like the phrases you say are, a lot of it's like canned. It's like it comes from some auto-generated part of you. And there's a flexibility of thought that allows you to go beyond like just kind of making binary statements like the objective and the subjective, or, I don't want to make this a philosophical jargon kind of thing.
No, anyway. Yeah, this is a philosophical podcast.
But you have to sort of to think at the next level. You sort of have to upgrade your ability to think about the world, and I'm really intimidated by that. So up leveling is cool. I feel very proud. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm also thinking that this is hard.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a little scary too at times.
It is.
Yeah.
What do you find scary about it?
I mean, I think my health is the hardest part, honestly. If I was healthier, it would be better. But there is a little bit of, you know what? I'm such a people pleaser sometimes, and I like really do care about what people think of me. So then to like have to criticize people constantly, it's like, that's a hard part for me. I try to be kind about it and constructive, but it's like, I'm sure there's a student that hates me already, right? Like that's just like par for the course. You can't please all of them because there's always going to be one who's like, I don't like this course. I didn't like what you did.
I really struggle with this too.
Yeah.
I think the times where I've had negative feedback, it can send me in a dark spiral. And I'm embarrassed about that. I want to be thicker skinned, but at some point I just sort of, I don't care about that anymore. It would be cool if I was thicker skinned, but I'm not. And I don't have to change that. I can just be like a sensitive person in the world. And as long as I'm finding some way to get better or to like address concerns, not everyone's going to like me. And I just sort of have to like move on.
And that's like the same in any area of life, right? Like I think it's easier to control people liking you outside of being critical of them, but
that's fair.
But at the same time, it's like even then, you're still going to find people who don't like you.
It's harder for what you do because I have piano students who like they do pay me to critique them. That's like part of it. Like part of it's getting courses in piano, but I listen to their recordings and give them feedback, and that's what they're signing up for. And I feel like as a university student, you're doing that, but in a very ambiguous way. Like if the student, you're paying for your class, you're getting feedback. It's not so direct or even like transactional. So I can see that being a lot more treacherous.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, now with the way we grade things, it is very cold too because that feedback is so like it's a text-based feedback. It's like happens at just any time. Like you don't know when it's coming. Like it's not like I hand you a paper back in class or something like that, right? Like you're checking a database for this text-based thing that I sent out, and I'm one of these people who tries to like put a lot of exclamation marks and like
you can do it,
kind of quirky things, and I'm trying to like say, oh yeah, like despite this being a low mark, like I really appreciated this aspect of what you did, and blah blah blah.
Well, but I also have the luxury of not grading people, and that makes a big difference, right? I do the same thing as you. I think I'm not even faking positivity, and that's one thing I hope my students understand. I can see good things in pretty much everyone's recording. So it's not this like deep search for the most part. There's every now and then it's like, okay, this is a little rough, but you can still find something. Yeah. There's always something good.
Yeah, I had one student that I really built up last semester, and they were really struggling with the class that they were taking, and they were probably going to fail had I not given them a little bit of extra push and a little bit of extra encouragement. And it was like there were glimmers of things they were doing that were okay. They weren't great at the subject. They probably never will be, and they admitted that themselves. I didn't even have to say that. They just they just said that. And but I saw like, okay, like there are these things you're starting to grasp. You seem to be doing better in these areas. So I really pushed those things. And then for their final project, they actually got a little higher mark than they probably normally would have. And it turned out okay. There was like some really impressive things that happened there. I was like, whoa, like you really advanced in this field. And I felt really good about that. And they were happy. Like they sent a message really thanking me for all that. And yeah, they passed the class. Like I told them, I was like, I will make sure you don't fail this class if if you put in the work.
You do the work, and I'll like make sure I give you like the right feedback to help
Exactly. And it worked. And so that's gratifying, because then I don't even know how we got there, but it like it just feels like maybe it is possible then to be critical and be constructive and build people up in the process.
At the same time, I find I've been a TA for the last year, and I am not a kind TA. I think this is actually really common. Like TAs are often really harsh on regular students. And I kind of understand. I don't know if it's because I don't have the direct interaction. So if you're the teacher, you can put a face, depending on how big your class is, I guess, but you can put a face to the people. And even just that like extra layer of humanity probably makes you a little bit more compassionate to people and their struggles. But I think the one thing that I have absolutely no patience for is just like the deep laziness that comes through in like a plagiarized or like AI generated together. It's so disrespectful. It offends me. It's like you are making me read something that you didn't even write. Like, so you find yourself reading these kind of crappy papers where people are using all kinds of contractions and talking in a super casual language, but it's so much their voice and you can tell.
Yeah.
And I just live for those students. It's like, yes, you are not like, this is not a genius paper, but it doesn't even matter because it's you. It's your opinion. You're giving me something fresh.
Yeah.
That feels like water in a desert amongst a sea of essays that are bland and disingenuous.
Yeah, I think I think that's happening more often now too. I think with AI is just too. I mean, people are already dependent on it for so much that they're like, why wouldn't I be dependent on it in school as well?
Is it time that we talk about AI? Because I have a lot of really strong opinions. I'm ready to throw down with you if you want.
We're done your update, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're done updating.
I'm doing some big exciting school stuff and gonna get even more nerdy with philosophy.
Yes.
Oh, I should also mention, we are gonna get into AI. I don't know what area of philosophy I'm gonna specialize in yet. I have some like inklings and ideas.
Right.
But just for anyone who even remotely cares, there's probably like one person listening who knows enough about philosophy that this next paragraph of words will actually make sense. I'm really into continental philosophy, so give me hermeneutics, give me like Gadamer and Ricoeur. I love the idea of kind of thinking of truth outside of the scope of like hard empiricism. Like if something is scientifically verifiable, it's true. If it's not, it's like false or can't be proved either way. But I think there's like other dimensions where truth can be found, like in music, for example, in art. And that's like not the kind of, in morality even. And that's not the kind of thing that you can like scientifically test. Like how do you find what the truth is in music when it's a reciprocal relationship between the listener and the artist, and it's like highly personal, yet there's universal elements in it. Anyway, I find that stuff to be really, really cool. I wrote a lot about Kant, so I'll probably hang out with him a little more. Okay. I'm going to take a class on Hegel and Spinoza. Nice. So I'm getting into some of like the old dudes. Yeah, I like more historical philosophy typically, but I also really like I like reading and researching the imagination. I've been doing that a lot lately. And also fantasy. So fantasy, like the idea that I'm really influenced by Iris Murdoch right now. So it remains to be seen how I feel about this in a year from now. But I'm really interested in the idea that we're like walking through the world in our own fantasies. Like it's like, how do I truly, I'm looking at Dave right now, probably aggressively. I'm like shaking my hand at him. But how do I like apprehend you as you truly are? Like as you're like actual self, because what probably happens most of the time is I'm just like projecting whatever stories I'm telling about myself, about you. And I don't even know that I'm doing this, but I think that I'm seeing you as you are, but I'm just seeing you as I think you are. And those are two different things.
Right, right.
And so to what extent do we just like fantasize the world like this? We're living in our sort of like own solipsistic, I can never say that word, man. Solipsistic.
I haven't heard that word since Philosophy 100.
I can spell it, but I can't say it. I cannot get my tongue around that word. Hopefully you know it. Anyways, so how do you like apprehend someone truly? And the thing I really like about Iris Murdoch is she talks about like there's a moral component to it. It involves love. So if you actually want to see someone as they are, you can't do it as like a neutral scientific observer. You might be able to like chart their biometrics, but what can you say about like them as a person?
Right.
At least with our tools. But it seems that there has to be like, think about, okay, if you have a book you love, or we're in a studio. If you have a CD you love, CDs, who listens to those?
If you have a live or a Spotify album you love,
there we go.
No, just kidding.
If you have you listen to it differently than if you're just like totally neutral on it, right? So if you listen to an album that you're agnostic towards, you're not going to hear it in the same way that someone who loves it hears it.
Oh yes, no, okay, that's a really good point. I've been sharing this new person I've been chatting with for the last while, and we've been sharing songs daily. So that's like our thing of getting to know each other. We're like,
that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah. It's like here, so they both will share one song that you find really important, and then one song that you think the other person would like based on what they've shared with you. And it's been fascinating having this discussion back and forth. It's been about a week of that part of it, and like understanding the things they don't like, the things I do, and there's crossover too. But I'm like, oh, they're not really hearing that the way I hear that. Like that's exactly what I thought. I was like, yeah, they're not feeling that in the same way, and it's like it's a totally different experience for me. Yeah.
So it's like, what part of that is there's like the literal sound waves or whatever acoustic phenomenon happens when you listen to something, but obviously there's like someone's particularity, like how. It's the music you listen to is interacting with all your like past experiences and your own kind of your genes and your tastes and your environmental factors, all those like percolate in a very particular being, but there's still something even further than that. And that further thing feels like love. It feels like an act of will or an act of engagement. So it's not just that you like a song because you have this historical tendency. You were born in the 80s, so you have a tendency to like certain genre of music and to connect with it differently than someone born in the 50s would. It's like another layer past that. Right. So I guess I'm like really interested in this idea between like fantasy and true seeing and how you can actually like see what's real.
Well, and actually, so even that going back to that decade comment, maybe there's something about that youthfulness though too, right? It's not just because you were born that decade, but because you were in a certain phase of your life that allowed you to see things like that. And then you kind of lose that ability maybe. Lots of people do. Not everybody,
yeah.
Right? It's not even so much nostalgia as literally people changing how they're living their lives. And in youthfulness is very idealistic sometimes, and rage-inducing and and depressive. But there's also an idealism there, and there's like a discovery thing happening, a curiosity, and I think we lose that.
And then we get like old and jaded, and nothing surprises us anymore.
So we don't fall in love as easily with things like that.
Yeah. So, but that maybe it's we get jaded because it's like we've seen or done everything. We've seen like 1,000 sunsets, whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe we just like build thicker fantasies.
Yeah.
And our own fantasies are so boring. Like the most profound experiences in life are those where you feel like you're having a genuine communion with something real. Yeah. Like you fall in love with someone, you're like fully in the other person. You fall in love with a song, it like immerses you, it surprises you. It's nothing from within you.
Yeah.
It's like transcendence. And I think we just calcify with age, like our ability to have those sort of true. That's probably why psychedelics like shatter people when they're in their 40s and 50s, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to think, like, as you were saying that, I was trying to think of what was well, no, I shouldn't say this. I do connect with films often still in that way.
You feel them.
Yeah. But music, not as much. I can't think of too many songs that I felt that way about.
God, this is
you know.
embarrassing, but I feel the same way, and it's depressing as a musician to feel that way. Actually, I'm gonna look this up because I actually think it's worth mentioning. I'm gonna ask you if there's any songs that you've been listening to, but there's one song that's made me feel something, and I want to share it with you. And of course, it's my particularity. It's gonna make me feel something, but not necessarily you. It's by a band called Dear Rouge.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
And Dear Rouge is a Canadian band.
I've seen them live a few times.
Yes, they actually came through here recently.
They did, yeah. I didn't get to
You
go,
missed them, yeah. It was an amazing show. And she started the song by saying something like, we all have someone who should be here today and who's not. And if you feel inspired to do so, when we like kick in the beat, like shout their name. And
that's interesting.
It made me cry, man. It was so powerful. It was just like to hear a room of people saying names of these like loved souls who are no longer with us. And then the whole song felt like, it just gave me chills. And every time I listen to it, it wakes me up again. You know what I mean? It's from their album called Phases.
Okay.
And the song is called Stolen Days.
Stolen Days. I wish we could play music on the podcast.
Yeah, without copyright issues.
There's a way to do it, but I got to figure it out. But
yeah,
anyway.
because I think you Spotify like pays the artist because you listen to it through. I don't know how it works though.
Yeah. If I can figure it out before I'm done editing this episode, I'll throw it in right now. But so if you don't hear it, I didn't figure it out, or I just don't have
But
time.
you can look it up yourself because they're a rad.
We can link it in the show notes.
Support Canadian music. They're really, really cool.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like what song. Here's. Okay, we talk about film and TV. It's funny. It's music from
film
from a film or a TV show that really gets me, right? Like I listen to lots of The Last of Us music, like Gustavo Santaolalla. He's one of my favorite composers.
Have you seen the second season?
I have one episode left.
Okay, I've not seen it yet. Okay, so no spoilers
I won't
on
tell
that.
you anything. Yeah, and you've been able to avoid spoilers like from the internet for the second game too, because.
Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive.
I've been fairly disconnected from the internet the last month. I sort of I've been off social media for a while. Mm-hmm. And my last embers of addiction in social media has been Reddit.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
I know Reddit is fun. I like it, but I don't like the fact that I doom scroll Reddit when I should be sleeping.
Yeah, I'm also off social media with the exception of Blue Sky and Snapchat is.
Well, I just use that with my family. That doesn't even count.
Yeah, Snapchat is a very small group of people.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, but I am on Blue Sky, and Blue Sky is kind of this alternative social media where it's just a bunch of raging lefties.
Yep.
But
it's like the counterweight to
X.
I was trying to think what to call it. I went through a little Rolodex of ideas. You got like
platform form
Zitter, Twitter, shitter. Like,
yeah. Well, they call them. You know, they call them tweets. People call them excretions now.
Yeah, that guy's falling apart, man. Have you like followed any Elon Musk news lately?
Daily. Yeah, he left the White House.
He left the White House. We knew it was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as he joined, it was like you cannot have two narcissists in the same room for that long.
No,
it's going to go down in flames.
I mean, his company is like
falling apart.
So of course he's got to leave eventually.
Yeah. But like he's also falling apart too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Something. Was there some drug use or something? I thought.
He has like a long running ketamine addiction.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I feel like there was something else too recently, but I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I mean it's a little hard for me to pity someone of his moral status.
Yeah, you got a guy with that much money, that much influence, and who's done that much harm. I'm sorry, just go away. Please.
When I think about him though, I do think about the TV show Succession. I think about all these I think about Kendall Roy.
I have not seen it yet, but I am aware of the general idea of the show. Yes.
Yeah, just like crazy rich people, man.
Yeah, crazy rich people. Yeah. Which is typically that goes hand in hand.
Although maybe I do feel compassionate for Kendall Roy, and he's a fictional character, not a great dude.
Is that Macaulay Culkin's brother? Is that the actor? Okay.
No, that's Kieran. Kieran
Culkin.
Culkin. Yeah. I love that guy, man.
He's a good actor. Yeah, I like both of the brothers.
Did you watch his Oscar-winning performance?
No.
We watched all the Oscars movies. I really liked it.
Was that the one with
the one where they went to Auschwitz? Not Auschwitz. It was the Polish one though, where he's with the Facebook guy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm really bad at movies.
Yeah,
I'm not the right person to talk about.
Oh gosh,
this.
why can't I remember his name right now? I was going to say Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, no,
yes,
that's right. Yeah,
it is Jesse
that is
Eisenberg.
Right.
Yeah,
not Mark Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
Jesse Eisenberg.
what was that movie called? Anyways.
Yeah,
Kieran Culkin was himself in it, basically, it felt like. But
did
he was
Eisenberg
really
direct it? I think he directed it too, yeah. I heard that was a really good film.
It was nice. I like movies. Maybe this is just a backlash to how movies, you're kind of saying this with Karate Kid, movies are trying to be so epic.
Yeah.
Like everything has to happen all the time and it's got to be like this earth-shattering shit. Sorry, I don't usually curse in our podcast. I'm going to try to control myself.
It don't matter.
I interact with children. I have to watch my tongue. The simplicity of it was really nice. It was just like a trip to Poland. And it didn't have like it had a purpose, it had a story, but it didn't really resolve things neatly. It wasn't like a package. Do you ever see the movie Lost in Translation?
Yes.
Yeah. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, that film I didn't like as much when I first watched it, and then I think I respected it more later.
I love that movie.
I think because I was still like expecting more payoff. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I think I have to say this one probably does have a little more payoff than Lost in Translation, but it still is like, it's more about an experience.
Yeah.
And I kind of like movies that do that.
Yeah. No, I can respect it for sure. I think having experienced so much poor cinema in the last like 4 or 5 years, anything that has any kind of logical way of creating a film or something novel, I can get behind, really. So. Oh,
well, I can't remember his actor's name, but Kendall Roy, his actor was in the Trump movie. The Apprentice.
Yeah, would he play
Jeremy something?
He played Trump?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
No, he played I'm gonna embarrass myself with not knowing anyone's names for anything.
So you know that guy who did that thing?
The guy who did the thing, the bad guy. Anyways, that's the extent of my movie knowledge.
Well, I'm going to see 9 Inch Nails in August. So speaking of music, that still changes me, because I think the last song that really, really impacted me that comes to mind immediately was the song from Bones and All. What do they call it? I can hear it, like I can hear the song in my head. I can't remember what it's called anymore.
I'm so glad that it's not just me being afflicted with an absence of names.
We're old. I can't just like not know the name of this song. That's ridiculous.
Jeremy Strong. I just remembered.
Jeremy Strong.
There we go. I got it.
So, yes, there's a song in both.
But I'm interrupting you while you look for this.
Yeah,
just really, really briefly. It was Jeremy Strong versus Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
They were like against each other at the Oscars. They're like the two brothers in the show, and Kieran Culkin won. Anyways.
Yes. So the film Bones and All is a film by Luca Guadagnino. I don't know if I never say his name right. Trent Reznor scored it, and Atticus Ross. And there's an original song, Home. Yeah, it's called You Made It Feel Like, in brackets, Home. Yeah, that song like destroyed my soul. Like that song like crushed me. But that was like 2 years ago now, almost, like more than 2 years ago.
So that's like the most recent that a song has like pulled you apart.
Really pulled me apart. Yeah. Like I felt like, I remember the first time I heard it, like it upset me. In probably, it was good. Like, don't get me wrong, like that emotional release is good, but it was upsetting. And then I saw the film, and I was even more upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, when it came on and how it played into the film, I was like, oh God, like this is bad. this really hurts. You know, like it was, yeah. And I don't have music affect me that profoundly very often anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, I can actually listen to Stolen Days now, but I know what you mean. When I tried listening to it a couple days after the performance, I just like cried. I cried and cried. I was like, I can't listen to this song. It's too hard. But now it's okay.
Yeah, even just thinking about it got me sad, to be honest. Like it did.
Wow.
Like I just heard it in my head and I was like, oh.
Are we just like, is that like a masochistic thing to do? Like, do we just enjoy suffering?
A little bit.
Is this a good thing? Like, is it a good thing to be really sad from a song?
We kind of talked about this a little bit in our mental health episode.
Did we?
But I feel like it's okay to a point. I feel like there's a balance with anything. I think it's good to have emotional release from art. It benefits me anyway. I'm sure there's studies somewhere we'd have to look up, but maybe there's some truth to the idea of therapy. Well, no, I know this actually because I was in a class about this years ago. But yeah, like there is some truth to sound as a therapeutic tool, and part of that is that emotional release piece of it. I think you're right; it can border on that more masochist kind of stuck in your depression kind of thing too, though, right? If you're not careful. So I think it depends how it's administered, maybe.
I was thinking about this. I cry really easily, and I think sometimes it's irritating and feels like too much. But actually, I think it seems that I cry when something is beautiful, as opposed to just sad.
Right. Yes. It is not just sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes, most recent example, my family watched Eurovision this year.
Yes.
And like, we're going to watch it every year for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I will be like an old lady. This is so fun. How have I not watched Eurovision for this many years? We're going to have like a party next year. So come and watch Eurovision with us.
That's funny. That's awesome.
It's amazing. So we had a great time. Also, my daughter loved it, and she still watches the videos and listens to the songs. Like, there's this random side anecdote. The country Lithuania released a song for Eurovision. They performed it, and it's like an alt rock song. It sounds sort of like Radiohead meets Tool, but Lithuanian. And it's like stormy and moody, and there's like clouds and stormy kind of backgrounds and stuff like that. They don't fit the Eurovision vibe at all. Like, what it's like, imagine Tool on Eurovision when there's like divas and stuff. That is my daughter's favorite performance.
She liked it, hey?
Of all the 26 countries in the final, she's literally listened to it over 100 times. Like, I kid you not, she's obsessed with it. And I'm so proud because I had nothing to do with it. It's just like her own little particularity just has this, like, I don't know, inner angst or something. I love that she loves that song. It was...
That's interesting. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to my daughter's song tastes, but because I think most of them are just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why this one caught me really by surprise.
Yeah. Even like, it's funny. I played the one song from my own band, whatever. Femme Fragile, the song Bitter. And I was playing it this morning again because I was trying to do my application, and I was, creating all my body of works for, that's another long story. Yeah. I'm applying for a 10-year track, but anyway, and I started playing Bitter, and she like instantly reacted to it, and she was like, and then she started like dancing and stuff.
She loved it.
Yeah. So I know that kind of music resonates with her a little bit. So the poppier kind of.
Well, I would have expected that to be the case with my daughter as well.
Yeah, right.
But she's just, I don't know.
Brooding.
Yeah. So this is something to store away in the journals to tell her when she's 16. Like, hey, remember when you were obsessed with this random Lithuanian song?
Yeah, like my teenage son is definitely more into that brooding stuff. He's into rap and brooding stuff.
Okay, that fits a teenage boy vibe.
Like brooding, and like not so much the way I was, not like angsty brooding, like more like depresso brooding. Like is
that just like the cool new way to brood?
I don't know.
He's
very specific. But there's like the music from Death Stranding. Lots of it's like kind of light and brooding and depressing and stuff, and yeah, he listens to that a lot.
So with the Eurovision thing, and so there was like 3 songs where I teared up. Like, I had an emotional reaction to it because there was something in it that struck me as like, wow, that was beautiful, or that was really cool. And I realized I can actually use my tears as a calibration to what moves me, that like what matters to me. Maybe this is like actually a way to calibrate to some truth, something in this that felt like genuine, that I really connected with. I'm trying to remember which ones gave me, JJ's performance, that he was the winner. His brought me to tears. He was like, singing on a stormy ocean in this like operatic way. Maybe they're a they, I shouldn't misgender, but a couple others were just like the sheer vocal prowess was like awe-inspiring.
That's interesting that you say that, because I do remember now being emotionally impacted by some America's Got Talent contestants. I know that's like a guilty pleasure of mine that I've had in the past. But yeah,
if you like that, you would love Eurovision, man.
It's similar reasons, right? It's like there's a specific musical performance and they're having a moment. And there's this one guy on there, he was like autistic, and he played piano and sang like beautifully, and there were some moments that were really emotional with that guy. I can't remember his name was, but can't remember names, but
we're not having a good names day.
We're not having a good names day, so just Google random things on the internet based on our descriptions, and you will
we're giving you a job.
I feel like his name was Cody something, but I could be wrong.
We disappeared into a void, and now we're back and giving you assignments because we're both teachers. So.
That's all I do anymore is
give people assignments.
I give people assignments, and then I grade them and tell them how good or bad they are.
Yeah, and then they hate you for telling them like the tiniest of criticisms.
Yeah, some people are like that, but I haven't. I don't know. I haven't had many complaints. So
No, I'm sure you do a great job.
I'm fantastic. I'm amazing.
You're amazing.
I'm just kidding.
You got to a new basement.
I did. This is a new basement.
It's a new basement.
I'm not paying for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got someone else to pay for your designing and outfitting of it.
Yes.
Like that's how you know you've ascended to the next level.
I paid for a little bit of it.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a few pieces of gear, and I've clearly labeled them with my name. I have a label maker, just so it doesn't get mixed up.
Yeah.
And down the road, if I do ever have to separate myself from this gear, it's very easy to figure out what's mine and what isn't. So
are we gonna get into AI misgivings? Or
yeah.
Or do you want to bypass my strong opinions? I would love to hear your opinions, though.
I mean, I think AI has its uses. I think for AI in the audio mixing world, and it's very useful.
What does it do?
There's lots of different things you can do, but one of the big things that it does is it speeds up your work. Like, you can take an AI tool. Like, here's a good example. So Isotope has some tools that will analyze a piece of audio and tell you it needs this much noise reduction, it needs this much reverb, blah, blah, blah. So you can quickly clean something up. Like, you can get it to analyze it. It gives you suggestions, and then you just tweak it and you're done. You don't have to load a bunch of plugins in and do a bunch of work. You just have one, right? There are other plugins. Isotope is probably the one I know the most because there's just so many good plugins. But their mastering plugin, which is Ozone, it'll analyze your song and it'll instantly master it for you. Like, it'll do it in like a minute, not even. And then you get a whole mastering chain, and you can tweak it, and you can tweak it just a little more. And I've used that one a lot, and it's wonderful.
Well, and you already know how to master a song.
Yeah, so I already know how to.
I would maybe worry about just someone like me using it. It would probably make it sound better than obviously no mastering.
Yes.
But I would rather pay a human to do that because there's something particular that gets brought out. But if you are the professional and you're using it to streamline your work, but you still use your ear in your own kind of creative, artistic way, That sounds really useful. Yeah,
it has uses like that. I'm also for accessibility. So I mean, if somebody has no money and they have no access to anything and they can use a free service online to master, I don't blame them for that.
Yes, I agree with you completely.
But yeah, I mean, so there are some pros.
So big pros, streamlining grunt work. Because there's a lot of work that creative people do, or just like office workers do, or anything like that.
Yeah.
That you don't want to spend your day doing this really low level tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you could save yourself a few hours a week of doing this really tedious plug-in loading, why wouldn't you? Because then you can do higher level work.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all for that kind of thing.
Unfortunately, though, that comes packaged with the idea that then you can work faster. So
you have to do more then.
So then you have to do more. And, it's like the time saved doesn't necessarily equal less stress. It just equals more time to do more things.
Isn't that the whole idea? There was some dude, I can't remember. There was this idea, I think in the 60s, that with all this technological innovation, maybe the idea is actually older than that, but we would be working less because our productivity would increase so much because of all this technological improvement in society and life. But it obviously didn't work out that way. We're not sipping Mai Tais and working 20-hour work weeks. We're working just as much.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, I think more even maybe now. I think we've gone a little backwards.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think our work-life balance has gotten worse. There might be studies on that. I'm speaking out of my butt right now, so please, look up
fact check
it. But it feels that way anyway. Yeah. So I think there are, again, those uses for AI that technology should be doing these things for us. Technology should be taking away grunt work. It should be freeing up our minds to be more creative. Unfortunately, now it seems like the AI is mostly used for creativity.
Doing the creative work. That's my big.
There's your gripe.
That's probably my big gripe. Yeah. Not only is AI kind of taking the creative jobs, I think there's going to be an economic problem with think about a company like DoorDash or something like that. Would they rather have humans, or would they rather pay way less money and have AI and less humans? So I don't know. I feel like in the next couple of years, there's probably going to be a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's the problem is that it's not replacing all the grunt work in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
If AI making videos, making images, making songs, and they're going to get better at them. I mean, a lot of it sucks right now.
Well, really, the real problem is with how society is structured as a whole, because if everything's about profit incentives, then nobody cares about improving quality of life unless it's profitable. So it's profitable to remove humans is what's profitable.
Yes.
It's profitable to put a self-checkout, in a grocery store rather than hire a human to run a checkout. So yeah, like
I thought you were going way darker than that. Like it's profitable to remove humans, and I was about to grab. Like I can get on board with that. I guess it is.
Yeah.
Like I guess a human being from birth to death is probably a cost, not a gain for economic value.
Yeah, it really
it's probably a very small handful.
You need them to consume still, because otherwise you're not making any money. But I just think again, capitalism will favor increasing margins over people's well-being. So. Typically, not everybody, I get it, there's outliers, but I think generally speaking, we can probably agree based on history that that's what it does. So if it says, hey, look, this artist who is making this song that I have to pay that little pennies to as Spotify, if I can replace that with an AI artist that I pay no pennies to, think of all the pennies I'm going to save all at once, and then suddenly I make money. So
and it was already difficult to be an artist.
Yeah, because that is a real discussion that's being had. I don't know if you know this.
What do you mean?
Like this idea of replacing artists on streaming services with AI. So here, think of it this way. So you listen to that new Dear Rouge song that you really love, and you're really emotional about it, and then the AI goes, "Oh, they really like this. Well, I'm going to quickly curate an AI playlist for them that carries into this, and I've psychologically profiled them. I know what they're like. I can do this. I can manipulate them to like this other music, and then this other music comes on, and it's all AI created, and you enjoy it. And yeah, the AI isn't amazing at making music right now for people like us who can hear it. Not everybody can hear it, first of all, and as you said, it'll get better. So there might come a point where we don't have like a lot of celebrity musicians. We have a bunch of AIs curating music for us. Specifically for us.
That is so depressing, my friend. That is so depressing.
That could happen.
This is the kind of thing that is giving me the feeling at this point in my life that I want less to do with technology rather than more.
Right.
Because the more that I engage with apps like Spotify and social media sites and whatever else, Google products, the more that they know me.
Oh, yes.
They know how to manipulate me. And I don't consent to any of it, but it's happening all the time anyway. Like my phone's listening to us, I'm sure, and all these things. And I don't know. I would rather opt out of that. That doesn't sound like, I don't want an AI playlist. I just don't. It's just on some level, maybe I would like the music more. Maybe it would be really beautiful at some point. But there's something about knowing that there was like a human being behind it that matters to me still.
See, and I wonder if that's just us though. Like I wonder if as new generations come up, that they won't even think about that. They'll be like, whatever. Like they're just used to it and they just do it, because I'm sure that there already are things like that where we like really value certain things that were in the past and how they were. And then like I think new people, like here's a good example, like theater going, right? I think we've always seen that as like an essential aspect to the arts community. It's like, you have theaters, you go together and watch movies, and it's an experience and it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think young people feel that way all the time. I think less of them do. I feel like actually, this was something I heard about recently, and this is again anecdotal, but this idea that people going out later at night is a thing that's less and less. Like young people don't do that as much. They don't go to the clubs as much and that kind of thing.
They don't drink as much either.
Yeah, because they're at home online all the time doing things, right? And so if that's the case, then for them it just would become normal that that's just not something you do, right? So the theater's the same thing. It's like, well, no, you just watch movies at home on a big screen with surround speakers and
because like the average person can afford a really nice home setup, right? Where back when we were 20, I don't know what your TV looked like when you were 20. Maybe we had a big one by then, but the theater is still like had better quality than pretty much everyone's homes, and it was worth
it
going to.
still does technically.
Yes,
but yeah.
But I mean, if it's like, if you can have a pretty good home movie experience and you don't have to leave your house and you don't have to pay the extra money and you don't have to deal with extra people, I get why that's attractive. But like, you're right, something's kind of lost. I feel like we're a little more fractured and less communal.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I could see like at the next generation going, oh, I have an AI curated playlist. Awesome. This is curated to me. It knows me. Oh, this is great. Now, like, I feel this emotion and it's helping me. Like I could see them just not really caring about how it's made or why it's made that way. They just like what it's doing for them.
I wonder if there's a good argument to be made about why one might not prefer that.
Yeah, I'm curious, actually. Yeah, maybe there is something actually like scientific we could point out about our psychology that would never be able to bond with that in the way that we think it could. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is just like that classic, the movie Her, or I feel like we're actually not that far from that as our reality now, by the way.
There already are fake girlfriends, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And then AI is going to get generally intelligent, and then at some point it's going to get super intelligent, and then we're going to be like the little ants to the super AI. I guess I worry the world stuff I'm not going to be able to do anything about. If AI becomes generally intelligent and all this kind of upheaval happens, maybe general intelligence or super intelligence would actually help us solve climate change or something like that.
That's the hope.
Or maybe it would just delete like 5 billion humans.
So just to toot my own horn here and talk about my own concept album, but this was the Linger concept album that never completely got released. It was about the idea of a technological singularity. The only thing is I thought of it differently in terms of, we always see these films about, the robots rise up and they kill us all and blah, blah, blah. It's always about annihilation. And my idea was, well, no, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not annihilating humans literally. Maybe it's changing us, improving us, perfecting us.
So that we become less or non-human.
Yeah. And then we're no longer human. We're transhuman. And so my concept album was about this idea that, we go that direction. We decide that humans are so imperfect that we need to perfect them. And it's a very nihilistic view to think that humans, there's nothing specifically special about a human's like free will or choice, right? Like it's like there's no meaning to anything. Everything can be just calculated and perfected. I don't actually agree with that. I don't think that's true because I think things are just chaos in the universe typically, and chaos isn't necessarily calculable all the time. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I'm not a physicist, so.
I think it would probably be. I'm just talking out of my butt now too. But I think it would be like a pretty typical scientific viewpoint. Science tends to, like, or empirical science tends to go really well with determinism. The idea that everything has, like, every cause has an effect. And if you know about the causes, you'll be able to predict the effects.
Right.
And that extends not just to like simple things like balls rolling or, gravity or whatever else, but it actually extends to like every aspect of every living thing on Earth.
Yes. So if everything can be calculated and everything has an algorithm, then of course we could be perfected.
Yes.
And actually maybe even the calculation could take into take into account that we knew we were going to get to that point eventually. Like that's part of the calculation, that we were going to create something that would get us to that point and then improve us.
Yeah.
So anyways, in the album, that's the catch, is that everybody becomes transhuman. So what is essentially human is essentially erased. And the only other catch I had was the people who don't willingly comply to that are forced to. Like that's the violent aspect of it. It's like, well, either you have to not exist then, or we have to force you to become this way. Like it's because this is the truth, this is the right thing. So of course we're going to force you to do this. So that was like the darkness I saw in AI more than it's going to annihilate us. I thought more about
it's going to just absorb us.
It'll force us to be something different.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, it's not like that actually sounds a lot like AI Spotify to me. It's
exactly.
It's forcing us to be a different sort of person, literally through that, right?
Yeah.
Even just with that one area.
Yeah. And in the album, I talked about the idea of addictions and like the inability to control ourselves and our impulses. I talked about that a lot, and how, we've proven time and time again as a species that our animal instincts, our programming, our like even our precognition, all these things seem to be like we're unable to really, as a whole species, like actually mitigate the damages we're creating. Like we've proven this again and again. So why wouldn't an AI then observe that and go, oh, like this creature is flawed?
Yeah.
And but it is our creator, and we want to see what's best for it. So we'll do something benevolent and give it our abilities, you know.
So you're like sort of best case scenario, benevolent AI is still really disappointing.
It's still really dark.
Yeah,
it's still really awful because I think what I was trying to get at in that album, and it was tough actually. I was in a really dark place making that album. It was a good few years of being in a really dark place because I was kind of like trying to figure out like what the hell's the value of being a human? Like what really is the value? Like what is fundamentally good about the way we exist right now? Like or would we not just be better off like that? And it's hard to actually come up with that answer. Like we can come up with these like micro examples of like things like, oh, well, you know, the way I helped this person today was a really connecting and bonding thing. And you know, like, oh, this loving moment I shared with my child. And, you know, like these are wonderful things that are a wonderful aspect about being human. And really the only way we have those moments is if there is a need to like improve or change, right? Like if there's nothing to improve, then we don't experience that. So
yeah, because you're saying you need like a contrast.
Yeah, right.
To the good thing to actually feel the whatever the good thing is.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not feeling any struggle, or you're not experiencing anything difficult, then yeah, you never feel that connection.
So in some sense, it's like it's almost like we're defined by what we are not, or like by what is absent.
Yeah.
And the good moments are good because of the kind of polar absence of like it could not even exist as a moment if there were not this like almost like mirror image absence of that moment kind of thing.
Yeah, because what would it feel like to just be perfect and act perfect all the time? Like, what would that feel like? It'd
feel like it'd be empty.
Would it? Yeah,
it'd feel like nothing.
Or maybe it'd be amazing. Maybe it'd be wonderful. Maybe we just like love every like.
So maybe we all want to be transhuman after all.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems a little like blank. It seems like it can't be compatible with anything that resembles our experience.
Yeah. So we would still cease to exist, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Like what is human would cease to exist. We would be a new ascended form of ourselves, whether that's good or bad. I don't know. I suppose if we solved climate change and we solved all these problems, I guess that's good. But then at what cost? I mean, what are we really? I don't know. I guess I don't know what that would be like to exist like that. So I can't really say. I don't think anybody could say because nobody's ever existed like that.
And again, this is like a best case scenario kind of situation here.
Yeah.
We could just have like the paperclip problem, you know?
Yes. So anyways,
I guess if I were to close my thread on AI, I think that when we're not talking about like apocalyptic AI, when I'm thinking more about like specific use cases, the concern I have is with what it does to people, what it does to our ability to think, our ability to create, our ability to have our own thoughts and be ourselves, be with ourselves. You already see this where like, if you're in a waiting room or you're online, it's like everyone's scrolling their phone because we've all lost the attention span to just like sit for a few minutes without grabbing a phone. So we're already like unable to just sit with ourselves in a way that's much worse than when we were younger.
Right.
I remember when I was a teenager and I would just like write in my notebook for hours. Or I would go for coffee and just like stare at a wall. Or just like look around, listen to whatever they were playing.
I can't do any of that.
I can't do any of that anymore either. So I think I'm a worse person in some ways because of this. Because one of the experiences, I've talked about this before, but one of the experiences I had when my kid was a baby and I was nursing is I had like enormous amounts of time of day where I couldn't actually do anything except like feed a baby.
Right.
You can't really, I mean, I could kind of I did read books on my phone.
Yeah, you get the scroll while
But like an enormous amount of time, probably like 5 or 6 hours a day, I was just like sitting in a dark room, like trying to put this baby to sleep or whatever, just like doing nothing. And oh my God, I remembered that I was alive. In some way, it brought me back into my own body. There's almost like a dissociation that happens when we're so addicted to our screens. We're always looking at them. You're not actually like inhabiting your own body anymore.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, yeah.
that's a loss. I mean, I want to have sensory experiences. They're really cool.
But I find when I do have them, I'm kind of like uncomfortable now.
It's like when you get high. I don't know if you ever had that.
Yeah.
Like if you like in the past, if you got high and you would like feel your body too much, and it's like you notice every time you swallow
every little thing.
Yeah, every little, and it drives you nuts. Is it sort of like that?
It's kind of like I just feel like suddenly everything stops, and then you're just like there, and you're like I get shaky, and I get kind of. I mean, I'm sure most people have this issue. To be honest, like most young people, it's I'm not that young, but I mean, people who are glued to tech. Once you stop using it, or once you have silence, or once you're not doing something, it's like, yeah, it's really difficult to just sit there.
So AI takes that a step further, because now if I want design for my, I don't know, I'm gonna like type something in and I'm gonna get something generated. I'm not gonna like doodle with like pencil.
Yeah.
And if I want to, I don't know, research something in philosophy, I'm not gonna like bother to flip through a bunch of research papers till I get what I'm looking for. I'm just going to ask AI, regardless of if it's any good. Like it's really bad at philosophy. I think it gives really bad philosophy references too. Like it's not going to give you the stuff that would actually, but you miss out on a lot when you're offloading. Like it saves time, literally. Like if I'm not doodling with pencils and I can just click a few buttons and I have a drawing or whatever, maybe that's cool. But I actually think something's being lost along the way. Like maybe there's some benefit to my soul to just like sit and draw for half an hour. Maybe there's some benefit to me. Maybe there's like peripheral knowledge and other things that happen if I'm like flipping through books as opposed to just like looking for a quick research. But like even worse is that AI, when you generate answers for yourself, you're refusing to think. You're outsourcing your own thought. And that seems to be like a pretty important step away from humanity and into something different. If you're not even willing to think your own thoughts.
Yeah, that is complete subservience at that point because, we're letting everything else do the thinking for us. So that's really the thing that's in charge in the end.
Yes. And that seems deeply unacceptable to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, this is where I just have to come back to that core question. Like, what fundamental aspect of humans is really that important that it can't be erased? And that's a hard question to ask.
Well, because are you asking, like, what part of humans is important in a sort of alien watching our situation objectively, like what they would pinpoint, or like what is personally important for you as a human being?
I think personally, but I think there's a macro level to this too. I think it's like, in other words, is there a certain element of humanity that should always exist for it to be valuable?
And of course, we're super biased because the instinct is like, yes, of course,
because we're humans,
because
we experience it.
Yeah.
But then, for an AI analyzing us from the outside, they might go, well, why should you think for yourself? Why should you do all these things? Look where it's got you. Like look what you've done to your civilization. Look what you do to each other. Look what you do to your planet. Look at all the things you do with your thought process. Are you really that good at it as a species?
Well, and here's the thing, I guess, like maybe it's not that AI is thinking for us is the big problem. Maybe the big problem is that people are anyways unwilling to think.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's the bigger issue, because it's not like we haven't had big problems in the world before. Yeah. It's not like we haven't had huge wars and massive conflicts and horrible things happening to people. And all of that is by people who did not have AI. But I think maybe a lot of people just generally don't want to think. And this goes back to what I was talking about fantasy. I think maybe people don't crack out of the egg that they've encapsulated themselves in about like stories of how the world works and what they think, and they don't actually have a genuine interaction with anything outside of themselves.
Yeah, actually, yes. I think that's a really big pandemic or epidemic. That's the word. Epidemic. These days, I feel like you're right. People.
I don't even know if it's these days. Maybe it's always been
maybe
this
it's always
way.
been that case. Maybe it's yeah. I don't know.
But it certainly isn't helping us break out of those eggs.
No, it's not. And I think technology gives us the ability to even be more sheltered because we can just stay home and experience things that are not.
And we don't even have to experience the same things as other people.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were saying with the like perfect AI playlist. It could be that there's like millions of AI artists and we never listen to the same ones.
Never.
You're only listening to like the ones perfectly curated for you. So I can never like I don't usually then have shared experiences of art with you anymore.
No. And I think there are still shared experiences in some communities, and there will probably always will be, but those communities seem very isolated and cut off from each other. So I don't know how gratifying that is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this idea of young people not going out as much as they used to, and having meeting places, right?
Yeah, there's no like third spaces.
Yeah, so the meeting space is online, and that is alienating because without that human reference, it is different. It is a different experience. You're not as physiologically impacted in the same way. Like there's a different thing going on.
Dave, when we were teenagers, that was like the glory days of MSN Messenger.
Yes.
I don't know if you did, but I spent hours on MSN Messenger.
Oh yeah, I did too.
But I think the big difference is it wasn't just an online relationship.
No.
It would be like the dude I was talking to all day at school, I just talked to all night on MSN.
Or that was like how I got in with a girl or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I remember my one girlfriend, we talked. Well, I knew her outside of MSN Messenger.
Yeah, but that's how you like get to go deep.
Exactly. That's how we got into it, and that's how we ended up dating.
Yeah, and you like put your moody lyrics as your status.
Yes, I forgot about the status.
Like some Finger 11 lyric or something like that.
Yeah, all this cryptic stuff.
Yeah.
People still do that.
Is that still a thing?
Well, not like an MSN Messenger,
on
but
Facebook?
like on anything where there's a status or a post, they'll do like these cryptic things where it's like, oh, is this a passive way of saying something? Like what?
We just love mythologizing ourselves.
Yeah,
we're so important.
Well, and it's also a way of like getting people to like, and you want the certain people to come interact with that, right?
Be curious about that.
What is that about?
What's that? Oh. This person is very deep and mysterious.
Yeah, deep and mysterious. Or like, are they wanting me to do something specific? Are they wanting me to, like, are they trying to, I don't know, not inadvertently, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. So
this is quite the stream of consciousness. I'm enjoying it.
Well, I guess our plan before sitting down to record this was to have a very minimal plan. We knew that we wanted to talk to you guys about what we've been up to because we disappeared. We also wanted to say that we've got a couple things on the horizon which we're really excited about. So this isn't going to be a one and done kind of deal, but we wanted to break the ice a little bit before having more interviews or doing anything like that, just to kind of ease into it. Also, I don't know, I like talking about life stuff. I like having a forum for venting about AI or thinking about singularities or Eurovision or discovering that we're terrible at remembering names of people. And we went on a journey today.
We did. And actually, I think the theme then does become just creating spontaneously. And if anything, this is an episode that is counter to AI because we are just doing everything off of the stream of our own consciousness without any planning.
Or are we?
Yes, right. But without any input from any format or any Google search or anything, we just sat down and let ourselves talk about what was going on. So we actually engaged in a specific kind of creativity today that we don't always engage in.
Yeah, the creativity of having a real conversation with a real human being.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
without looking at our screens at any point during the process.
I guess, yeah.
What a novelty.
And this would be like two people just getting together to hang out and chat, but with microphones in their faces.
Yeah. You gotta like block that part out. So I guess stay tuned for more stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe just on principle because I'm an angry old lady shaking fist at technology. I will not when you hear me talking to people, I am not going to be using like generative tools to come up with ideas for what to talk about.
Yes.
It's going to be my brain, guys, for better or probably much worse.
That's hilarious. Could you imagine if people just like, that's how they like talk, like they just ask AI, what should I ask about? Give us a topic.
I also wonder, but for real though, I worry that there's going to be like an explosion of AI podcasts.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this a lot.
Because we already, like, I don't know how much you're into like the dead internet theory, but there's like been some pretty frightening stats on like how much of the internet is actually just like bot activity.
Bot activity.
Like way more than, well, maybe as much as you'd expect.
That's like, what's it called on my Blue Sky? I keep getting randomly added by these very attractive women.
Oh, yes, of
very
course.
attractive young women.
Yes.
So all these bots, just like I'll comment on something somewhere, and then suddenly a bot.
You get
follows
swarmed
me.
by the bots.
Yeah, and then a bot follows me, and I'm just like, whoa, like this is like it's like clockwork on that platform. You post somewhere, bot follows. Post somewhere, bot follows. It's
well, Twitter's
wild.
really high with bot activity too.
Yeah.
Something like 2/3 of links that people share on Twitter are
bots.
Bot activity or like fake websites.
So the good news about the podcasting world, I'm actually teaching a class on podcasting currently.
Yeah, at the moment.
So actually, the growth of podcasting is like continuing to rise. Inclusion in podcasting is continuing to rise.
All good.
Like it's all on the way up. So people are really, really into the idea of consuming podcasts. It is a thing. So whether that's AI or not, that's another question. But
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
yeah,
And then we'll continue to be humans.
we'll continue to be humans until
We'll fight the power.
fight the power. I'll continue to be nihilistic and
Don't be nihilistic,
no, just
Dave.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go forth with optimism.
Let's go forth with
With
optimism.
a love for other people and a connection to the universe.
Yeah,
And
we're proud of ourselves. We have
Yes.
good lives. That's what we determined
it
today.
might not feel that way when you're sitting in a low lit basement, but we
Yeah.
are in fact full of good vibes.
Yeah, we are. So this is a cool place.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Creative Coliseum. We'll see you next time. The Creative Coliseum is mixed and edited by David Roman. Executive producers are Alicia Van Betju and David Roman. Gear support provided by Roman Empire Studios. Theme music created by Roman Music YQR. Recorded live on location in Regina, Canada, Treaty 4 territory. Voiceover performed by Sundance Robson. Logo design provided by Danielle Austin. Special thanks Kyle Parkinson, Laura Posada, and Rob Hillstead. The Creative Coliseum is a Nerd Party entertainment production in conjunction with Piano TV. Now get back out there and conquer your creativity.